The Goose with the Golden Eggs. Once upon a time, a man and his wife had the good fortune to have a goose which laid a golden egg every day. Lucky though they were, they soon began to think they were not getting rich fast enough. They imagined that if the bird must be able to lay golden eggs, its insides must be made of gold. And they thought that if they get all that precious metal at once, they would get mighty rich very soon. So the man and his wife decided to kill the poor goose. However, upon cutting the goose open, they were shocked to find that its innards were like that of any other goose. Moral of the story: think before you act. The boy who cried wolf. Once there was a shepherd boy who had to look after a flock of sheep. One day he felt bored and decided to play a trick on the villagers. He shouted, "Help! Wolf! Wolf!" The villagers heard his cries and rushed out of the village to help the shepherd boy. When they reached him, they asked, "Where is the wolf?" The shepherd boy laughed loudly. "I fooled you all. I was only playing a trick on you." A few days later, the shepherd boy played a trick again. He cried, "Help! Help! Wolf! Wolf!" Again, the villagers rushed up the hill to help him. And again they found that the boy had tricked them. They were very angry with him for being so naughty. Then, some time later, a wolf really went into the field. The wolf attacked one sheep, and then another, and another. The shepherd boy ran toward the village shouting, "Help! Help! Wolf! Help!" The villagers heard his cries, but they laughed because they thought it was just another trick. The boy ran to the nearest villager and said, "A wolf is attacking the sheep. I lied before, but this time it is true." Finally, the villagers went to look. It was true. They could see the wolf running away and many dead sheep lying on the grass. Moral of the story: we may not believe someone who often tells lies, even when he tells the truth. Arthur was a responsible farmer, and Maria was a nice lady. But they were poor. They owed the town lord money for their land. One summer, their farm burned. One structure caught fire, and most of the animals ran away. Only cats stayed. So Arthur and Maria had to bring in their crops without an animal's help. On a fall day, the Lord demanded his money. Arthur asked if the Lord could wait until he brought in his crops. But the Lord was angry. He raised his hands high and yelled, "Pay me by the end of the week. If you don't, I will increase the money you have to pay. I might put you in a jail cell." So Arthur and Maria worked until there was blood on their hands. They finished 4 lines of corn and went to bed. But the next morning, 8 lines were finished. "Maria, didn't we stop in this spot here?" Arthur asked. "Yes, that is correct. And the tools were in a different position too," Maria said. They were surprised and happy. That day, they worked hard and finished 5 lines. But in the morning, 10 lines were done. Each day they did a lot of work. Each night, someone else did an equal amount of work. In a week, the whole field was finished. "Tomorrow I will sell the crops and pay the Lord," Arthur said. But that morning, the crops were gone. A bag was in the middle of the field. It contained money. "Maria, let's see who has helped us work." Through a hole in the wall, they saw a funny sight. The cats were dancing in the field and eating corn. Now Arthur knew what had happened. The cats had worked at night. After that, Arthur was very nice to his cats and fed them lots of corn.